When Commander Elias Vaughn opened his eyes, he did not see the battlefield. He saw a ceiling made of living crystal, glowing softly like a trapped sunrise. And someone was holding him. Not gently, not kindly, but possessively. A voice, smooth and royal, whispered near his ear. "You belong to me now, human." For a moment, Elias thought he was dead. The last thing he remembered was fire. Earth's orbital defense grid collapsing. Alien warships breaking through the sky like gods descending. And his fighter exploding around him. But this was not death. This was something stranger. He tried to move. He couldn't. Not because he was tied. Because something warm and alive was wrapped around him. Arms. Elegant. Strong. Inhuman. His vision sharpened. He was lying on a wide throne of silver metal and violet silk. Strange floating lights hovered in the air. Symbols drifted like holograms written in liquid fire. And leaning over him was a being no human artist could have imagined properly. Tall. Luminous skin like pale starlight. Long white gold hair cascading over armored shoulders. Eyes like twin galaxies, ancient, calculating, and burning with something dangerous. Princess Elira of the Tuchuases Dominion. Supreme heir to the empire currently conquering Earth. Elias swallowed. "If this is captivity," he muttered, "you've got a strange way of welcoming prisoners." Her lips curved faintly. "You are not a prisoner." Her hand pressed against his chest. Energy pulsed between them. "You are bound." That word hit harder than the explosion had. "Bound," he repeated. She straightened slightly, studying him like a rare discovery. "When your vessel detonated, you should have died. Instead, you did something impossible." Elias frowned. "I blacked out." "You disrupted a Thrishan neural spear with raw impulse reaction," she said calmly. "No augmentation. No alien tech. You overloaded our psychic interface using instinct." "That doesn't make sense." "Exactly." She leaned closer again. "Our kind does not bond with primitives. But when I reached into your dying mind to extract strategic memory, you reached back." Elias felt it then. A strange awareness. Like another heartbeat behind his own. Like a second presence brushing against his thoughts. "You connected us," he realized. "No," she corrected softly. "You connected yourself." Silence filled the chamber. Far outside, distant thunder echoed, orbital bombardment continuing over Earth. Elias forced himself upright. Pain surged through him, but it wasn't normal pain. It was shared pain. When he winced, she did too. They both noticed. Her eyes narrowed. The bond mirrors sensation. "Great," he muttered. "So if I get punched, you feel it?" "Yes." He smiled slowly. "That seems like a design flaw in your invasion plan." For the first time, something like amusement flickered across her face. "You are not afraid," she observed. "Oh, I'm terrified," he replied honestly. "But humans are good at functioning while terrified." That made her pause. She stepped back, studying him more carefully. The throne chamber doors slid open suddenly. Tall armored aliens entered, commanders by their insignia. They froze when they saw him awake. "Your Highness," one hissed sharply, "the human asset should be secured." "He is secured," Elira said coldly. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. The alien commander looked uneasy. "The Council will not approve of bonding. They will adapt. And if they do not?" Elira's voice became something ancient. "Then they will learn." The commander withdrew. The doors sealed. Elias exhaled slowly. "You just threatened your own war council." "Yes." "Why?" She looked at him again, but this time her expression was different. Curious. "You did not beg for survival," she said. "You did not scream in your final moments. You calculated trajectories while burning alive. That's training." "No," she said softly. "That is defiance." She walked toward a wide balcony overlooking the capital city of the TUSS Dominion. It was massive. Towers curved into the sky like spears. Warships hovered between structures. Energy shields shimmered across the horizon. An empire built on order and superiority. And Earth was losing. Elias joined her at the balcony. From orbit, he could see blue fire over the Pacific. Human fleets falling. Cities under siege. His jaw tightened. "You plan to conquer us," he said. "Yes." "You think we'll kneel?" "Yes." He turned to her fully now. "You don't understand humans." Her gaze sharpened. "Explain." "We lose," he said. "A lot. We fight each other constantly. We break things. We make mistakes." She listened. "But when something bigger tries to erase us?" He met her galactic eyes without flinching. "We become very creative." Silence again. Through the bond, she felt it. Not arrogance. Not blind courage. Strategy forming. Adaptation. Problem solving under pressure. It was chaotic. Unpredictable. Wild. And fascinating. "You believe your species can overcome a civilization 10,000 years older," she said. "Yes." "On what basis?" He smiled faintly. "Because you're still trying to control variables." She tilted her head slightly. "And humans? We break them." For the first time, she did not look certain. Far above, an explosion rocked orbit. A human fleet fragment rammed directly into a TUSS cruiser rather than surrender. The impact created a chain reaction. 3 alien ships fell. Elira felt the shock through military networks. "They sacrificed themselves," she whispered. Elias nodded. "We call that Tuesday." She looked at him differently now. Not as a specimen. Not as a conquered being. But as something dangerous in a way her empire had not calculated. "You may belong to me by bond," she said slowly. "But perhaps I belong to your chaos as well." Elias folded his arms. "Welcome to humanity." And for the first time since the invasion began, Princess Elira of the TUSS Dominion felt something her empire had not felt in centuries. Uncertainty. And curiosity. Because the human she saved might become the single greatest mistake, or greatest transformation, in galactic history. The bond hurt the first time humanity surprised her. It was not physical pain. It was cognitive strain. Princess Elira stood in the war chamber while massive holographic projections displayed Earth's defensive grid collapsing sector by sector. The TUSS Dominion had calculated every probability. Every fleet movement. Every missile trajectory. Victory was supposed to be efficient. Instead, it was becoming unpredictable. Elias stood beside her, unarmed but far from powerless. Through the bond, he could feel the streams of alien data brushing against her thoughts. Battle reports, casualty counts, strategic adjustments happening in real time. He felt something else too. Confusion. On the projection, a human fleet near Mars executed what looked like a tactical error. They split formation too early. Their shielding was uneven. 2 ships drifted out of alignment. The TUSS commanders reacted instantly. "They panic," one alien general declared. "Press the advantage." TUSS warships accelerated. Energy lances fired. And then the error revealed itself. The drifting human ships detonated, not from damage, but deliberately. Hidden inside their hulls were old asteroid mining charges modified into electromagnetic pulse bombs. The blast was not large enough to destroy the alien cruisers. But it blinded them. For 12 seconds. In war, 12 seconds was eternity. From behind Mars, dozens of small human vessels emerged, ships too small to register as threats earlier. They fired concentrated kinetic rods at precise weak points in TUSS shield harmonics. 3 alien destroyers went dark. Elira felt the ripple of shock across her fleet network. "That was not logical," one commander whispered. Elias crossed his arms. "It wasn't supposed to be." She turned to him sharply. You sacrificed 2 capital ships to create a distraction. We sacrificed hardware, he corrected. The crews evacuated hours earlier. The alien generals stared. That maneuver required predicting our reaction, one said slowly. Elias shrugged. Humans study opponents. But more importantly, we study ourselves. We knew how scared we would look. So we used it. Elira felt something shift inside her. Her people valued precision, control, superiority. Humans weaponized imperfection. Another alert flashed across the projection. Earth's communications network, which should have been in ruins, suddenly synchronized globally. Every remaining human nation, every language, every military branch broadcast the same message. We stand together. For centuries, the TOSS Dominion had conquered divided civilizations. Political fragmentation always accelerated surrender. But Earth was doing the opposite. The bond pulsed. Elira felt Elias's emotion clearly now. Not fear. Not rage. Pride. You unify under extinction, she said quietly. Yes. That is inefficient. It's human. More explosions lit orbit. TOSS reinforcements arrived. Larger, heavier warships designed for planetary suppression. But something was wrong. Their navigation systems glitched. Coordinates shifted by microdegrees. Nothing dramatic. Just enough to create firing delays. Elira's eyes widened. Your satellites, she realized. Elias smiled faintly. Not just satellites. Weather systems. Debris fields. We turned our entire orbit into a messy puzzle. You are using your own planet as a weapon. Always have. A TOSS commander stepped forward urgently. Your Highness, human cyber units are penetrating auxiliary fleet channels. Their code is erratic. Define erratic, she demanded. It does not follow predictive logic. It adapts mid-execution. Elias chuckled softly. That's because it's not fully automated. Elira felt it then. Millions of human minds connected through emergency networks. Engineers, teenagers, retired programmers, soldiers, all feeding ideas into evolving defense algorithms. Crowdsourced warfare. Chaotic. Unstable. Brilliant. You fight as a swarm, she whispered. No, Elias said. We fight as storytellers. She looked at him. He gestured to the projection. Every human watching this invasion is thinking of ways it could turn out differently. Every possibility becomes fuel. Someone somewhere always asks, what if we tried this instead? Another TOSS cruiser fell. Not destroyed. Hijacked. Human code rewrote its propulsion system long enough to spin it into the path of another vessel. The collision was catastrophic. Elira felt the tremor through command channels. This was not in the models, one general said quietly. Of course it wasn't, Elias replied. You modeled fear. You modeled surrender. You didn't model stubborn creativity. She turned to him fully now. You are changing the outcome. Not alone. He placed a hand against the balcony glass overlooking Earth. Humanity is. Below, the blue planet burned, but it was fighting. Then the bond flared sharply. Pain. Elira staggered slightly. Elias caught her. What happened? She closed her eyes, accessing fleet-wide awareness. The High Council, she said softly. They are authorizing phase final. Elias felt dread spike through her. What is phase final? Her voice became colder. Planetary sterilization. Silence fell between them. Even the war chamber quieted. That would destroy your strategic asset, one commander protested carefully. It would destroy resistance permanently, another replied. Elira felt the weight of her empire pressing on her. The TOSS Dominion did not tolerate drawn-out wars. Efficiency was survival. But the bond pulsed again. Through it, she felt Elias's reaction. Not despair. Calculation. Fast. Wild. Creative. You're thinking, she said. Always. Tell me. He stepped closer. You said the council fears unpredictability. Yes. Then give them something worse than unpredictability. Her eyes narrowed. Explain. Let me speak to them. The chamber went silent. Alien commanders exchanged alarmed glances. That is impossible, one said. A human addressing the High Council. We'll terrify them, Elias finished. Which is the point? Elira studied him carefully. Through the bond, she felt no deception. Only daring. You would stand before the rulers of an empire that outnumbers your species 1,000 to 1, she said slowly. Yes. And do what? He smiled. What humans do best. She searched his thoughts. Found the outline forming. Negotiation, but not surrender. Challenge, but not arrogance. Offer, but also warning. It was insane. It might work. You are either the bravest creature I have encountered, she said softly, or the most reckless. He grinned. Both can be true. Outside, another wave of ISS bombers aligned for planetary strike formation. Time was running out. Elira turned to her commanders. Prepare a direct council link. Gasps echoed. Your Highness. That is an order. The chamber shifted into emergency transmission mode. Massive alien sigils ignited in the air. Across the stars, the ISS High Council prepared to receive a communication they never expected. A human. The bond between princess and soldier tightened. For the first time in Imperial history, the fate of two civilizations would be argued not with weapons, but with words. And humanity had never been predictable when cornered. The High Council of the ISS Dominion had not been interrupted in 9,000 years. Until a human appeared in their chamber. The transmission sphere activated, expanding into a ring of towering alien figures made of light. Their forms were immense, armored in ceremonial energy constructs that symbolized authority and conquest. Behind them, entire star systems shimmered in miniature holographic display. They did not look at Princess Elira first. They looked at Elias. Silence filled the connection. One of the counselors finally spoke, its voice layered and metallic. You bring a primitive into sacred transmission space. Elira stood tall. He is not primitive. Elias stepped forward before anyone could stop him. Good evening, he said calmly. Or whatever you call this time cycle. Several commanders in the war chamber stiffened. Through the bond, Elira felt it clearly. He was terrified. But he was choosing not to show it. That choice fascinated her. You stand before a civilization that could end your species within the hour, another counselor said. Yes, Elias replied. You could. No denial. No protest. Just agreement. That unsettled them more than defiance would have. Then why are you here? The first counselor asked. Because you're making a mistake. A ripple of outrage passed through the chamber. You presume to instruct us. I'm pointing out math, Elias said. You came to conquer Earth quickly, cleanly, efficiently. That is correct. You failed. Silence fell again. Not because it wasn't true. Because it was. You are winning battles, Elias continued. But you're losing control of the narrative. Elira felt curiosity spike through several council minds. Clarify. You've studied our weapons, Elias said. You've studied our technology. But you didn't study our psychology deeply enough. He gestured toward the projection of Earth, still burning but still fighting. Humans do not respond to extinction with surrender. We respond with innovation. The counselors observed him carefully now. Your resistance is statistically temporary, one said. Maybe, Elias replied. But every hour you fight us, we get smarter. That landed. Through the bond, Elira felt the council calculating. He pressed forward. You're an empire built on control. Predictability. Superiority. Yes. We're not. He stepped closer to the projection, even though it was only light. "We are messy, emotional, competitive. We argue constantly. We make terrible decisions." Several TSS counselors showed faint signs of contempt. "And that," Elias said quietly, "is exactly why you can't conquer us long term." The room stilled. "Explain," demanded the central counselor. "You can dominate a species that depends on hierarchy," Elias said. "You can break a species that waits for orders." He turned slowly. "But humans don't wait." Elira felt his thoughts clearly now. The pattern. The strategy. "If you sterilize Earth," Elias continued, "you win a battle. That is sufficient." "No," he said softly. "Because you won't erase the story." The council flickered. "Story? You'll prove that humans were dangerous enough to require annihilation," Elias said. "You'll turn us into a warning." He let that hang in the air. "And every other civilization you rule will notice." The silence this time was heavy. Even Elira hadn't considered that angle fully. Elias went on. "You've conquered dozens of worlds. They obey because you're strong." "Yes. But if they see you destroy a species that fought back creatively, they won't just fear you." He met the towering alien forms without blinking. "They'll start wondering if they can do the same." The council did not interrupt him now. Through the bond, Elira felt something remarkable. Doubt. Small. But real. Elias continued. "You think humanity is a threat because we resist?" He shook his head slightly. "No. Humanity is a threat because we adapt." He raised a hand, and Elira allowed the projection to shift. Images appeared. Human scientists already analyzing alien debris. Engineers replicating fragments of TSS shield technology. Programmers studying captured code. "If you continue this war," Elias said, "we will reverse engineer you." The words were not a threat. They were certainty. "You'll win early engagements," he admitted. "But 10 years from now." He smiled faintly. "We'll be visiting you." A counselor's energy field flared. Arrogance. "No," Elias said simply. "History." He stepped back slightly. "So here's your choice." The chamber held its breath. "You can destroy Earth," he said, "and create a galaxy that whispers about the species that nearly matched you. Or you can stop." Shock rippled across the council. "Stop," one demanded. "Withdraw invasion forces," Elias said. "Recognize Earth as sovereign." "And why," the central counselor asked slowly, "would we do that?" Elias glanced at Elira, then back at the council. "Because you've already bonded with us." Confusion flickered. He gestured toward the princess. "You studied me. You tried to dissect my mind." The council turned toward Elira sharply. "The bond is mutual," she said calmly. "He accessed you," Elias said. "And now your empire has tasted human thought. That landed harder than anything else. You cannot unsee what you've learned," Elias continued. "Curiosity spreads." Through the bond, Elira felt it spreading already. Among officers. Among analysts. Humans were no longer just targets. They were puzzles. And puzzles were irresistible. "You don't conquer puzzles," Elias said softly. "You collaborate with them." Silence stretched across light years. Finally, the central counselor spoke. "If we withdraw, what does humanity offer?" Elias did not hesitate. "Partnership." That word echoed. "You gain access to our creativity," he said. "Our chaos. Our ability to solve problems from angles you don't even recognize." He smiled slightly. "And in return, we gain access to the stars." Elira felt something shift deeply in the council. For centuries, the TSS dominion expanded through force. But force was predictable. Humanity was not. After a long pause, the central counselor spoke again. "Princess Elira, do you endorse this proposal?" She stepped forward. Through the bond, she felt Elias's steady heartbeat. "I do," she said clearly. "Humanity is not a weakness." Her luminous eyes hardened slightly. "It is an evolution." The council conferred silently across quantum channels. Minutes passed. Finally, invasion fleets will stand down. The war chamber erupted in stunned whispers. Orbital bombardment ceased. Alien ships halted mid-formation. Across Earth, human radar systems registered the impossible. Withdrawal. Elias exhaled slowly. Elira looked at him. "You gambled your species on words." He met her gaze. "That's what we do." Below them, Earth still burned, but it was alive. Humanity had not won through superior firepower. Not through strength. But through adaptability. Through narrative. Through refusing to kneel even when the universe expected it. Elira studied the planet again. "You belong to me," she had said when he awoke. Now she understood the truth. The bond went both ways. Perhaps humanity did not belong to the TUSS Dominion. Perhaps the future belonged to both. And across the galaxy, for the first time in thousands of years, the most advanced empire in existence had learned something unexpected. Humans were not prey. They were partners. And possibly, the most dangerous allies imaginable.